my beautiful internet friends. So today we're going to be reviewing these cute little new eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. These are like their bite-size eyeshadow palettes. They retail for $3 each. There was a lot of different variety within the eyeshadow palettes. I didn't want to buy all of them. I think there was like 5 or 6 different color schemes you could choose from. I decided just to buy the 2 I knew I would wear if I do like this formula. I do not know if I'm going to like it yet. e.l.f. eyeshadows have been kind of hit or miss for me in the past, so we'll see how today goes. I do have high hopes for these because they're just so cute. Like, they're little, but they're only $3 each, and I feel like for $3, this is like the perfect size. So I did pick up the eyeshadow palette Truffles and then also Berry Bad. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you guys before I apply them to my lid, because I'm only gonna do one eye look with both palettes. Probably mainly gonna use Truffles in this video. Oh wow, that's really cool. So you know how like a lot of drugstore brands will have like these damn stickers on the side of the palette so you can't just open the palette up, you know, because there's that sticker? e.l.f. made like a little like peel thing back here, so if you peel it, it helps lift the entire sticker up. Hold on, I'm trying to show this on camera. See? Boom. Alright, so here are the swatches from the Truffle palette. I'll bring it a little closer so you guys can see. They swatch pretty nicely. They look very pigmented. I'm hoping they blend very well and also build nicely. That's my concern here. There was one particular eyeshadow palette from e.l.f. I reviewed a while back on my channel, and I did not like it. It wasn't very pigmented. It didn't blend that well together. So I'm just a little nervous to have that happen again, but I do have high hopes. I feel like their eyeshadow palette formula has improved from what I've heard watching other people's videos, so I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Berry Bad. There was like a green palette from them they released with this bite-sized collection that I was very interested in, but I feel like green eyeshadows are very, very hit or miss. And I was a little nervous that that particular palette would not be the greatest, and then I would review only that palette, and then like everyone would think these eyeshadows are bad. I want to go ahead and review palettes I thought were kind of safer colors. So here are the swatches of Berry Bad. Again, very pigmented. They look good. Like, the swatches look very promising. One criticism of these palettes I did see floating around online. I haven't watched any other people review these eyeshadow palettes yet because I want my own opinion to formulate. I didn't want to be persuaded either way. But just by looking at the comments on Mood and e.l.f.'s post about these palettes, a lot of people were criticizing about how tiny they were, and it was almost like, what's the point? Which I do agree. That I personally cannot imagine I'm going to go dig around my collection for this particular palettes because they are so tiny. But if you do travel a lot, these might be nice. However, my concern with traveling a lot, these are just plastic palettes. Like, they're not very durable. So if you do travel long distance, I don't know if these would hold up. I feel like maybe if they got tousled around in your makeup bag, they would probably break. It does, however, look like the type of eyeshadow you can depot. So like, it looks like there's a magnetic pan within the eyeshadow palette, so you could depot it and put it in a bigger palette, but you could do that with pretty much any palette. So I don't know. We're gonna try them out, see if the formula's good. I do think there's certain people that would like eyeshadow palettes this tiny. If you're somebody that does not play around with makeup, you use the same 3 to 5 colors, you really don't experiment, you don't have a lot of space for makeup, maybe you live in like a trailer apartment, something just where you don't have a lot of room. You don't have a lot of room for makeup, you don't have a lot of storage. I think these are kind of perfect because like they don't take up much space. I mean, in comparison to like my eye primer, I mean, it's smaller than my eye primer. So I do think these are good for a particular group of people. Again, people like me who maybe do have the space for makeup, already own a lot of eyeshadow palettes. You know, maybe not worth the $3 investment. I mean, it's only $3. I personally think you should try it if you're interested, but yeah, I don't know. I can see why you would be not interested in these, but also, I don't know. It's just makeup, you know? So let's go ahead and try these out. I am going to prep and prime my lids with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. This is my favorite eyeshadow primer of all time. If I'm going to test any eyeshadow out, it's always going to be on top of this primer because it's bomb. Let me apply that real quick. Okay, so like I said, we're probably going to mainly use Truffle because I'm going to work after this. I like these tones for work. They're more appropriate than like a berry tone. Well, I mean, either way they'd be work appropriate, but I just feel like wearing these tones today. So I'm gonna go ahead, open this bad boy up, and I'm gonna use this middle shade right here. I don't think they have shade names, but I'm just using that mid-tone brown. And again, another downside to this palette is the fact that there is no mirror, which I mean, obviously, you could guess by looking at it. So I do have to open up another product and use the mirror, Which honestly, when I'm not filming YouTube, I don't really care too much about having a mirror because I always have a mirror on my vanity. But I know a lot of people do use the mirrors and palettes, so, you know, that's gonna be a deal breaker. I wanted to tell ya. So I'm gonna pack that shadow in my outer corner up to my crease. It's very pigmented. Which I will say the primer I'm using does make shadows a lot more pigmented than like a concealer or a different eye primer. So that could be helping the situation, but I mean, I feel like it's probably pretty decently pigmented even without this primer, just based on the swatches we did earlier. Okay, I think I do need to dip into the Berry Bad palette just to use that transition shade right there, that very light pink. I would prefer more light brown with the look I'm going for, but that's not really an option with the colors I have here. So I'm gonna dip into that light pink on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna blend out that brown because obviously it's not the most blended in this moment. This pink is helping blend though, so that's nice. And it doesn't look too bad. I'm not using a ton of the color though, because I don't want my eyeshadow look to turn into a pinky, you know, scheme when I keep it very brown and neutral. Okay, that pink eyeshadow came in clutch. This is much more blended out than it was before. I will say if you're at home and you just have the Truffles palette, you don't have the other palette to dip into, and let's say you have no other eyeshadow palettes at all, you could always take a fluffy brush and just lightly dip into that brown shade once again and gently, slowly blend it out. Make sure to tap off your brush before blending, and it will probably work just the same. I need another color in my transition. You know, it just wasn't enough for me. And let's say you are at home and maybe you don't have the Berry Bad palette, but you do own other eyeshadow palettes. You could grab any light transition shade you have, whether it be a peach, light brown, anything you want, and just throw that in the crease as well. Just a tip. Now I'm going to take that deep brown and pack it in my outer corners. These darker shades are what I'm most nervous for because I'm scared they won't be pigmented and the fallout will be unreal. So I'm going in very gently, tapping off my brush every time I apply a new, I guess, layer of eyeshadow. Every time I go back and dip, I tap off my brush. I do have a bit of fallout right here from that brown shade, but it's not too bad. If you do your face first, I would recommend being very gentle or go ahead and do your eyes first. I always do my eyes first 95% of the time. But you know, some people don't like doing that and that's fine. Okay, you know what? I'm pretty damn impressed. And you know, could this be a bit more pigmented? Could it be a bit more blendable, you know, all around? Yes, but for $3, I'm not mad at this. This is actually pretty damn nice. I think this might be the cheapest eyeshadow palette I've ever purchased, and I mean, it's performing a lot better than some of my high-end ones. So yeah, I'm not mad about this like look at all. Again, it's not the best, it's not my most favorite, but it's not bad either. Okay, taking a tiny little brush like this, I'm now gonna dip into that black. This is the part I'm the most nervous for because black can either be great for a look or it can be the worst thing that ever happened. So I'm just gonna gently pack that to the outer corner. Honestly, I can't really see it. Like, I can't really tell if it deepened up my eyeshadow or not. I want to say maybe a little bit. Definitely not the most pigmented black I've ever used, but also I know for a lot of people, a pigmented black is very scary. It's a harsh approach. So for like beginners or people who don't want to spend a lot of time doing their makeup, you know, that's a good black to have. But for me, I don't know. I prefer my other blacks and eyeshadow palettes, that's for sure. Okay, now it's time to use this like silver brown shade. It's a shimmer. I'm a little nervous for this as well. I am gonna spray my brush because I would spray my brush with any other shimmering shadow. Like, I would never not spray my brush, you know? I just prefer it to be more wet because it's more metallic that way. It applies a lot better, less chances of fallout. So I'm not gonna like treat this eyeshadow different than other eyeshadows. So we're gonna go ahead and apply that to the first half of our lid. Really pretty. Okay, so here is the eyeshadow all complete, at least on the top lid area. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, I I think the quality is pretty nice. It's not my most favorite eyeshadow formula, not my most favorite eyeshadow look, but I don't think it's bad. Like if I went out like this, no one would think like my makeup looks any different than normal, you know? It looks, you know, it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup off camera because I wanted this video to be solely based on the review of the eyeshadow palettes. So I'm gonna do my base, lashes, liner, all of that off camera. I'll be back to give you guys my final thoughts, see if anything changes while I'm doing my makeup, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, and here is my final and completed look using the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palettes. Let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts and opinions on, I guess particularly the palette Truffles, because I only used one shade in Berry Bad. If you guys want to see me use Berry Bad in a different kind of video, let me know, because it did swatch quite nicely, so I am interested to see the formula of it, especially if it is comparable to this one. I didn't have the time or the skill set to use both these palettes in one look or do two different looks. So if you want to see a whole other video, let me know down below. But as for mainly Truffles, because that's the palette I use all 4 shades in this one, I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. This is a $3 eyeshadow palette. So is it the same quality as like Anastasia? No. That's my favorite eyeshadow brand, by the way, in case you didn't know, in case you're new. Anastasia is like top tier in my opinion. It's my favorite. And is this comparable to that? No. No, not by a long shot. Anastasia palettes are like $45, $50. This was $3. Obviously, they're not going to be similar, but did this work? Yes. Would I use this again? Honestly, maybe, because it's very pretty. Again, it's very tiny, so it doesn't take up much space in my makeup, and honestly, if I need to go to like a friend's house to get ready, or if I get ready at work one day, or just something silly like that, if I had to go get ready somewhere, not my house, but somewhat close to me, I would pack this in my bag. I wouldn't necessarily travel with it. Like, I'm going to Mexico here in March, and I don't think I'm gonna travel with this because it is a plastic case, and I just have a feeling it would break on an airplane or even in a car for a long distance, longer than like 2-3 hours. So I wouldn't travel with it long distance, but I do think it's cute. I do think it fits nicely in a makeup bag if you're going out, going to a friend's house, etc. Again, if you don't have the space for a huge makeup collection, or if you just don't have much makeup, I do think these are a really great deal. Or if maybe you just don't like to spend a lot of money on makeup, you like to spend no more than like $7-10 on an eyeshadow palette max, you can pick up quite a few of these, and I want to say the formula would probably be pretty consistent because the swatches were pretty consistent. Like I said, I don't know, but Truffles in particular, I do really like. I think it's amazing. I mean, you can see in my eyes, it's pretty, it's not the best eyeshadow look ever, but it's not bad, especially with some liner and lashes. It's great. I would go out in public looking like this. I am going to go out in public looking like this later today. So yeah, I'm not disappointed in this. I think they're great. On a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 7, 7.5. So yeah, I would recommend these. I think they're great if you want to pick them up. I did order mine online from Ulta. They're also available on the e.l.f. website. I don't know if they're in stores quite yet. I'll have to look that up after this video, but yeah, you can order them online from Ulta. Whenever I order online from Ulta, I feel like my shipping is so fast. Like, I get it within like 3 to 4 days. So if you do have to order online, if you can't find it in store, it won't take very long to get to you if you order from Ulta. Don't know about elf.com, but Boldt always has really fast shipping, except for during the holidays. Then it's a little, you know, takes a little longer, but even then, not that long. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have tried these out, or if you want to try them out, let me know down below. I kind of want to pick up more shades and also do a video with Berry Bad, just because I'm pretty impressed, and for $3, I mean, you really can't beat that price. I love you guys so much, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.